Welcome. Today we journey not across continents but through time, into the heartlands where ancient peoples first glimpsed the divine. In the ruins and legends of lost civilizations, we'll seek out 10 forgotten gods, deities whose names once shaped empires, now nearly lost to history. Imagine standing in a crumbling temple, sensing the lingering presence of a power that once commanded life and death. This is the world we enter, a respectful exploration of belief, myth, and memory. Let us step into the past, where gods walked among mortals and their stories shaped existence. Our journey begins in the heart of the Aztec Empire, a civilization rich in culture and steeped in rituals that connected them to the divine. Here, Totec, known as the Flayed One, embodied the brutal yet profound truth of renewal and transformation. He was revered as the god of agriculture and rebirth, symbolized by the shedding of skin, just as maize sheds its husk to grow. This act of shedding was a powerful metaphor for the cycle of life and death. In his honor, priests would don the flayed skins of sacrificial victims, transforming themselves into living vessels of regeneration and renewal. This practice was both a tribute and a profound act of faith. This ritual, though shocking to modern sensibilities, was a sacred act of hope and renewal for the Aztecs. It symbolized the belief that the old must die for the new to thrive, a cycle that was essential for their survival. As the priest emerged from the decaying skin, it signified the earth's rebirth and the promise of another bountiful harvest. This act was a vivid reminder of the interconnectedness of life, death, and renewal. Today, Totec's temples stand silent, his story preserved only in ancient codices and the ruins that whisper of a time long past. These remnants are a testament to the once vibrant culture that revered him. The Flayed Lord, once central to the cycle of life and death, is now a shadow in history, a poignant reminder of the Aztecs' profound connection to the natural world and the divine. We journey back in time to the cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia, a land of fertile rivers and endless desert, where the first cities rose from the dust and humanity's oldest stories were born. Here, the Sumerians envisioned a mysterious, shadowy underworld, a realm beneath the earth ruled by the formidable goddess Ereshkigal, queen of the great below. Ereshkigal was not a demon or a villain, but the very embodiment of death's certainty, a sovereign presiding over the house of dust, where all souls, regardless of status, would eventually arrive. Her most famous myth tells of her sister Inanna, goddess of love and war, who dared to descend into the underworld. At each of the 7 gates, Inanna was stripped of her power and possessions, left naked and lifeless before Ereshkigal's throne, a powerful reminder of mortality's inescapable grip. Even the mighty Queen of Heaven was rendered powerless in the great below, underscoring the Sumerian belief that death ruled over all, no matter how divine or mighty one had been in life. Ereshkigal's eternal solitude mirrored the profound isolation of death itself, a realm where no living soul could linger and no joy could reach. As new empires rose and fell, her worship faded into obscurity, yet her name and her myths survived, etched into fragile clay tablets, waiting to be rediscovered by modern scholars. Once a feared and respected monarch of the dead, Ereshkigal is now a silent figure, her memory preserved only in the relics and ruins of ancient belief. Today, the queen of the underworld is forgotten by all but a handful of scholars. Her story a haunting echo from the dawn of civilization, reminding us of the mysteries that still linger in the shadows of history. In the misty forests of Celtic Europe, Cernunnos, the Horned One, was lord of wild things. Depicted with stag antlers, surrounded by animals, he embodied the untamed cycles of nature and the bounty of the land. His story survives not in myth, but in ancient art, the Gundestrup cauldron, stone carvings, and sacred symbols. As Rome conquered the Celts, Cernunnos was absorbed, then demonized, his worship fading into legend. Today, he lingers as a mysterious presence, glimpsed only through the art and echoes of a vanished world. The wild god, now a silent guardian of forgotten woods. In Sumer, before Babylon's rise, Enlil was king of the gods, lord of wind, holder of the tablets of destiny. He was both creator and destroyer, his will absolute, his power as unpredictable as the storm. Enlil's wrath brought the great flood, not out of malice, but because humanity's noise disturbed his rest. For millennia, kings sought his favor, building temples and singing hymns to his might. But as Babylon ascended, Marduk replaced him, and Enlil's stories were rewritten. The once supreme god faded into obscurity, his roar now a whisper in the ruins of Nippur. The Lord of Storms, dethroned by the tides of history. In Norse lands, amidst tales of war, there was Forseti, the god of peace and justice. He presided in Glitnir, a shining hall where all disputes found resolution through his wisdom. Forseti embodied the Norse value of law, reflected in the Thing, their assembly for settling conflicts. Unlike his warlike kin, Forseti's influence was quiet, his legend one of reconciliation, not battle. As Christianity spread, his worship faded, his name surviving only in ancient poems. The god of stillness and justice now rests in near-total silence. His legacy, the hope that reason can prevail over violence. In early Rome, before the Olympian gods, Quirinus was the divine embodiment of the Roman people. Once a Sabine war god, he became identified with Romulus, Rome's mythical founder, who ascended to godhood. Quirinus represented the citizen at peace, the farmer, the father, the heart of the republic. His festival, the Quirinalia, celebrated civic unity before the season of war. As Rome expanded, Quirinus was overshadowed by more universal gods and emperor worship. His temple fell to ruin, his name a relic of Rome's earliest identity, the guardian of the Roman citizen, now a forgotten cornerstone of empire. On the high plateau of Mexico, where the land stretches beneath a vast, ever-changing sky, the people have always looked upward, hoping for the blessing of rain. Here, the cycles of drought and deluge shaped not only the earth, but the very soul of its inhabitants. Tlaloc, the rain god, was both life-bringer and destroyer. His arrival meant salvation for parched fields and dying crops, but his wrath could unleash storms that swept away homes and lives. The people revered him, yet also feared the unpredictable power he wielded. His goggled eyes and fanged mouth adorned temples, symbolizing the dual nature of rain, nourishing or devastating. These features, carved in stone, reminded all who passed that Tlaloc watched over them, his gaze as relentless as the storms he commanded. Tlaloc's paradise, Tlalocon, awaited those who died by water, a lush and eternal garden where the chosen would find peace. Yet for those left behind, his anger could bring famine and ruin, turning fertile land to dust and hope to despair. To appease him, the Aztecs offered child sacrifices, believing their tears would summon rain. The rituals were solemn and filled with sorrow, as the community pleaded for mercy and abundance, trusting that their offerings would soften the god's heart. Twin shrines atop Tenochtitlan's Templo Mayor honored Tlaloc alongside the sun god, showing his vital role. The city's very heart beat in rhythm with the gods, and Tlaloc's presence was felt in every prayer, every festival, and every anxious glance at the sky. Today his temples endure, silent witnesses to a vanished world. Tourists wander among the stones, unaware of the ancient fears and hopes that once echoed here. The stories of Tlaloc linger, but his name is rarely spoken aloud. The rain still falls, nourishing the earth as it always has, but the god who commanded it has faded into silence. The rituals have ended, but the memory of Tlaloc lingers in every storm that sweeps across the plateau. Tlaloc, once worshipped in hope and fear, is now a memory in stone, a silent guardian of rain, whose legacy endures in the land and the legends of Mexico. In ancient Sumer, Ninhursag, Lady of the Sacred Mountain, was the primal mother goddess. She shaped humanity from clay, breathed life into the world, and presided over fertility and birth. Her myths tell of creation, healing, and the absolute power of the earth's abundance. As society changed, male gods rose and Ninhursag's role diminished, her stories absorbed or rewritten. Her temples became ruins, her memory preserved only in the oldest tablets. Once the source of all life, she is now a near-forgotten progenitor, the Great Mother, eroded by time and belief. In Thrace and Phrygia, Sabazios was worshipped as a sky father and god of vegetation, his symbol the serpent. He rode on horseback, wielded a staff, and was honored in ecstatic, secretive rites involving feasting and the bronze hand of Sabazios. His cult spread across the Greek and Roman worlds, adapting to new identities but retaining its core mysteries. Sabazios was a personal god, promising renewal and salvation to his followers. As Christianity rose, his worship was suppressed, his faith driven underground. Today, only enigmatic bronze hands and scattered inscriptions remain. The horseman god, once widespread, now rides in obscurity. In the Levant, the Philistines worshipped Dagon, god of grain and harvest, provider of bread and prosperity. Misunderstood as a fish god, Dagon's true nature was agricultural, his worship predating the Philistines by centuries. He was chief of their pantheon, honored in grand temples and invoked for victory and abundance. As empires conquered the region, Dagon's identity was absorbed and his worship faded. His name survives mainly in the texts of his rivals, his true story buried by history. The Lord of the Grain, once vital, is now a forgotten god of a forgotten people. Our journey ends having traced the rise and fall of gods who once shaped worlds. These myths are more than stories. They are echoes of humanity's search for meaning, reminders that even the mightiest gods can fade. Thank you for joining this exploration of lost legends. By remembering, we keep these ancient fires burning, however faintly, in the digital age. May your own journeys be filled with wonder.